20.2, 20, is that right? 20.2. There's a lot of twos. How you doing? How's your week been, John?
Pretty excellent so far.
Yeah.
Pretty good, you know?
Yep, I sure do.
How's it going up there in Washington?
Oh, in Washington, it's been nice. The weather's been kind of crappy the last couple days. Nothing much going on, though. Not much at all. Except, let me think. Oh, there's the thing with the ball, the baseball. You ever heard of that sport?
Mm-hmm. It's American
Baseball.
sport.
There's a thing sort of happening with our team right now, with our baseball team. I don't know if you've heard of them, the Washington Nationals, who have a third baseman named Anthony Rendon. We're playing in the thing at the end of this season. I don't know what they call it. I believe it's called the Series of the World, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Can you get off your phone?
I'm looking at the wad, honestly.
Can you get off? I could have just told you.
I'm looking at 20.2. You're talking about baseball.
I'm talking about real sports. It's like cars and my brother's kids.
Talking about real sports.
20.2 is, Amanda's going to put it right here. It is 20-minute AMRAP, 4 thrusters with 2, not 1, 2 dumbbells, 50 pounds for the males, 35 for the ladies, 6 toes to bar. You think I got that right? 6 toes to bar, and 24 double unders. That is 34 reps per round, if my count is correct. And apparently, Jeremy, the good guy from Australia, said there is 30 space for 30 rounds on the score sheet. Now, look, I watched both events. I watched the Australia, and I watched the Quebec. Everybody loves a fishing trip in Quebec, John.
Everybody loves what?
A fishing trip in Quebec. It's from Letterkenny. You wouldn't.
It's from what?
There's like 8 Canadians right now and other people that think I'm awesome because I made a Letterkenny reference. Just go with it. Anyway, everybody loves a fishing trip in Quebec.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody. See, there you go.
Cool.
I wish I knew how many rounds Caroline Reason Thibault got, because I timed her at the 17-minute mark, and she did a round in roughly 41 seconds. So at that pace, she would have been around 30 rounds, right? Matt McLeod did almost 900 reps in Australia. I think that's, oh God, I should have done the math on this. That's 27-ish rounds, somewhere around there. This is a big one with a whole poop ton of reps, right? What initially, when I texted you and told you what it was, what did you think?
Oh, I still think my exact reaction was, wow, via
Yeah.
text. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Literally.
That is a lot of work.
The definition of work being mass times distance, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but do double unders really count as?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's mass times distance. Think about it.
It's about that much if you're good at double unders.
Yeah, times what?
24.
Times what?
Times a lot.
Times their body weight.
Yeah, that's true. That's a little bit of power output. So here's what my initial reaction to this was. There's 2 kinds of athletes in the world, right? Those that are capable, that'll be able to handle the thrusters, and this is just broad overview. Those that are capable to be able to handle the thrusters, toes to bar, no problem, double unders, no problem. Of that group, there's 2 kinds of athletes. There's the aerobic ones, and then there's the anaerobic ones, right? Large majority of the outstanding CrossFit Games style athletes in the world fall into that, believe it or not, that aerobic pathway, right? And it was funny to watch Con Porter and Matt McLeod, and then Caroline Prevost and Caroline Reason-Thibault go head to head, because it was like literally watching that on the screen,
right?
Because Con and Caroline they were kind of gassed about halfway through, and it looked like they were struggling. And Caro and Matt McLeod literally did the exact same thing, though. It was the most boring thing to watch I've ever watched in my life. I cannot believe I watched Matt McLeod walk back and forth and do 896, whatever he did, reps of that workout, because he literally just did the same thing over and over again for the entire 20 minutes. And when he was done, that dude just walked over and signed his paper, and that was it. It wasn't on the ground. It wasn't anything else. Khan was on the ground, kind of flopping around. Carolyn Prevost, same thing. So this workout comes down to aerobic versus anaerobic, which is
hold on.
tough to manage.
I got a question.
What?
I got a question. For your average CrossFitter, do you think the weight...
Well, no, I'm going to get there.
Go
ahead.
Too soon? Well, I was just going to say, do you think the weight's going to be a factor? Not exactly a super lightweight.
So if you okay, so it's 100 pounds for a man, right, and it's 70 pounds for a female. Fran is 95-65. It's 5 pounds more, but it is invariably a much more difficult load to move to overhead. Now, if you do a lot of single arm work, which if you follow the Outlaw Way gym program, you certainly have. But if it's not something you struggle with, it's not a very hard movement. For a lot of people that don't have the range of motion to get their arms extended overhead, etc., it is a difficult movement. You have to treat it different than a regular thruster, right? A regular thruster at that weight, at 95, 100 pounds, can be more of a push press, right? The dumbbell thruster has to be jumped overhead.
Right.
That's all there is to it. You have to finish it almost like you'd finish a jerk. Right. Now, the beauty of it is there's only 4 reps, so that's not going to kill you anaerobically to just kind of grit out and make sure you jump the weight overhead, right? And the big thing for me, for the general population and people that are going to struggle a little bit with the weight, is don't lose any reps, right? Don't get no rep. Don't miss that lockout, right? If there's something that you're going to rest a little bit before you do, it needs to be the thrusters.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
The toes to bar are a non-factor, in my opinion, right? The 6 toes to bar, I don't think it's, for general population, somebody that's not great at stringing toes to bar together, I would suggest, as much as I hate to say it, I would suggest the thing that we suggest almost every year for those people, putting a plate underneath the bar so you can touch it with your feet and do an almost single toes to bar. Right? So feet come down, you touch the plate, make sure your feet are behind the bar so you meet the standard, and then back up again, right? So if you really struggle stringing them together, right? We say it every year, don't we?
Yeah, and I think it's worth reiterating every time, in that, it's 20 minutes. We were just talking about work being mass times distance. If you're jumping up to that bar every time you do a toes to bar, that's work. That could be putting, this workout. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's going to find your total work output in 20 minutes, right? So don't have any of it be jumping to the bar for the toes to bar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking not jumping to the bar, but I'm talking putting a plate, and it's kind of hard to set up, but putting a plate to where you can kind of stop yourself, right? Instead of doing the double clutch swing back and forth thing, right? Stop yourself, get right, and then go back up again. Now, we've actually shown videos of this before. We've shown how-tos on it, stuff like that. And yeah, definitely, there's no doubt you should not be jumping to the bar. So the thing in watching the broadcast, the thing that I noticed is because they have to face the camera the whole time, they basically had to stagger the workout moving forwards, right? And then after the double unders, or after the thrusters, they would have to walk back to the pull-up bar. My main thought was, if I was doing this with people in the gym, I'd have them doing their thrusters almost under the pull-up bar, right? Not to where they were hitting it, but as close as possible to the pull-up rig. Put their thrusters down, or put their dumbbells down, and then just turn around to the toes to bar, right? There's no reason to walk 10 feet. I know a lot of people like that kind of setup like they do in the announcements and stuff like that, but the transition time. If Matt McLeod repeats this workout at his gym, he'll probably do another round plus because he had to walk back and forth from the jump rope or from the thrusters back to the pull-up rig.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And then another big thing for me is watching, especially Caroline Reason-Thibault, the way that she put her rope down every time. I know this is a great workout because it's kind of like back in the day when we used to have to give these mind-blowing suggestions to be what shoes to wear and stuff like that. Like, there's little things in this one that are going to get you another round, right? And one of them was watching Caro put the rope down with the handles together every time in the same spot, right? A lot of people will just finish their last double under and kind of drop the rope, and then you got to chase your handles around while your breathing is elevated, and it wastes 10 seconds around.
Right.
All right, and those are seconds that can't be wasted.
Right.
At any point on this workout.
Right.
Right. The goal behind this should be as little waste as possible.
I agree.
Right. So I'm sure a question people are asking is what to do with the double unders if you don't have, if you're not great at them. Should I break them somewhere? Should I not? My answer would be no. It's 24. That's however many seconds of work. That's 15 seconds of work. And what you should do is rest before them, right? If you think there's any chance you're going to miss, you should be resting before you get to them instead of breaking in the middle of them after you're in rhythm.
Right.
Right. And that's pretty much all I had.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, as far as strategy for the specific WOD, I'd be interested in your thoughts. This seems like a somewhat similar test to me as last week, right?
Yeah, it's pacing-wise, it's almost the same thing. That was another thought that I had. Pacing-wise, it's almost the same thing.
Right.
It's negative splits the whole time. All right.
You're fuzzy. Am I fuzzy?
Again, not to use fuzzy. Am I still fuzzy?
A little bit.
How are you now?
A little bit.
Good now? Better? Yeah. Negative splits. Caroline Reason-Thibault, again, not to talk about her again, but she was pretty awesome. She just maintained pace the entire way, right? This is a Sandberg special, right? Just do a round in 40 seconds and just duplicate that for the next hour. That's basically what it's going to be.
You think something heavy or high skill is going to be coming next? I mean, I was surprised.
Isn't it always? Week 3? It's gotta, right? We've done 2 aerobic workouts.
Do they usually do 2 aerobic back-to-back like this?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Okay.
I haven't really done my research, but that's
Feels
pretty much
right.
how it goes.
Feels...
Yeah, week 3 will be something heavy.
Cool.
Snatches.
I gotta say,
hard triple unders.
I gotta say, I do like the workouts so far.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, you want to just people are hurting, right? That's the goal, isn't it? Make the people hurt.
I don't think that's the goal.
Oh, is it testing fitness?
Well, hopefully it's about getting fit. This is just a way to.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
It's about the games.
Nope.
We don't care.
Who's we?
The Washington Nationals baseball.
Because you're a relief pitcher.
Yep. Pretty wicked knuckleball.